I love this game, also this is just a parody, blah blah blah, all credit goes to CinemaSins, yada yada. Also, stick around until the end for user-submitted sins, you freaking idiot. I had to play this game 4 times. 4 times just to get all the footage. Not necessarily the game's fault, it's a combined effort between the Elgato and the PS3 itself, but I swear to God I am never playing this game again. Doesn't Ratchet's face just look weird? I don't know why, it just looks weird. Like weird, very putty.
If we time it right, we can ride the slipstream of the grav train past the Seagrid traffic.
James Arnold Taylor isn't being whatever the hell Waldorf Sockbat is in this scene.
The thrusters are fine, Clank. See?
It's not a Ratchet and Clank game unless Ratchet says it's fine before the it in question proceeds to shit itself. Yeah, and I thought Ratchet looked like putty before. Get a load of quark over here, hot damn. Of course, they survived this.
At least I can try out my new nav unit.
The way Ratchet points out his nav unit makes it seem like it's going to play a big part in the game, but it never gets mentioned again. It'd be like Cloud saying, time to test out my Buster Sword, and then proceeding to punch everything. Box physics. If ever a Drofford is pissing you off, take solace in the fact that once you defeat it, you can step all over that fishy fool. The Combustor is kind of a fun pistol-like weapon, for about 5 minutes before its damage output falls lower than Lindsay Lohan on a good night. It's not a Ratchet and Clank game without dodging trains on grind rails. These top-down sections can get fucked. Alright, let's address the elephants in the room, the 6-axis motion controls. They're pretty bad. I respect Insomniac for trying to implement this new technology into their game, but the limited motion of the controller results in very stiff controls. In this free-falling scene, for instance, you can only move in 8 directions. Of course, you can turn 6-axis controls off, but this results in sections that feel very bland because they're designed to be played with motion controls. Overall, They're still using Mikey Kelly's voice for whenever Ratchet gets hurt or dies. 3 grind rails, 3 laser cannons. That sure is convenient. Whoa, Ripto, is that you?
Behold, the last Lombax in the universe.
Angela Cross? In fact, if you dive into the extended lore, during the events of Deadlock, Tachyon was spending his time looking for Angela, but Max Apogee turned up to save her from him. Now, some say Deadlocked is considered non-canon, so take it with a grain of salt, but if this is true, and even if it weren't, then what are you talking about, Tachyon? You're talking out your ass.
Crown Prince of the Cragmites, conqueror of space and time, and pending the obliteration of a few insubordinate species.
At first I thought Tachyon wouldn't want Ratchet dead because Ratchet would probably lead him to the Lombax secret or something. But nope, Tachyon wants to obliterate him. In that case, fucking do it!
Such a primitive robot companion. And your kind used to be such renowned engineers.
I'd be careful if I were you. He's got posomorphic blaster cannons at his fingertip.
Not entirely wrong. Clank can shift into a giant form and shoot rockets from his wrist, so it kinda counts. Tachyon's walking throne goes down with 1 swing of the wrench, but later on it takes no less than 300 Rhino 4 rounds, 15 Negotiator rockets, 260 Buzzblades, 3 Groovitrons, 1 Mega Leech Bomb, and a few Magnets. I'm calling bullshit.
His fortunate cryosleep does not work on robots.
Apparently, robots can maintain organic consciousness. If you love the pronoun game, you'll love the Zony.
Ship must have run out of fuel while on autopilot.
Yep, they survived this too. The fusion grenade is also a fun weapon to use, for about 5 minutes. Seriously, what is up with the low damage output on these weapons?
You have acquired raritanium.
For an ore known as raritanium, it sure is common.
Welcome to Grummelnet's weapon shop. Here you can buy ammo, upgrade your weapon, or purchase new tools of destruction.
Oh shit, I've been waiting for this ever since I sent up your arsenal. Okay. Fuck. Line! I had to restart my PS3 to get that sin because I accidentally skipped it, which brings up another sin. Pre-rendered cutscenes are unskippable, even in challenge mode. Get used to this ugly mug, he shows up everywhere. Before they scrapped it, Insomniac originally had the idea to call him Senor Plot Convenience.
Today is Tachyon. Attention, citizen. This plant has been shut down to our leader.
Excuse me, lady, I think your speakers are broken or something. How am I supposed to sim what I can't hear? Oh, like this. Ding! So, after filling up the gelinator, dispersing some gel to reach higher ground, and draining the gelinator again, the gel tank is completely full. If gel magically expands like that, one might question why a gel plant even needs to exist. The Groovitron. A device that forces your enemies to submit to the alluring call of the dance floor. Is that not the greatest idea ever?
Now, the ones of the larger variety carry in each of them a Leviathan soul.
I told you Insomniac has a massive boner for the word Leviathan. All these missiles seem a little unsure of their target. Gah! Not again! The most deviously complex contraption in all of 3D platforming history! 3 buttons.
Clank, have you been modifying yourself in private?
Absolutely not. And I do not care much for your tone.
That gets a sin off. I had a good chortle at that one when I first heard it. Motion-controlled flying. Alright, let's settle the helipack versus thruster pack debate right now. The best one to use is... Neither. It's the robo-wings, you fuckos. Case closed.
Great. We're trapped.
Oh yeah, stuttering cutscenes. If the lip syncing ever feels off during this video, it's not my fault. I mean, I could fix it myself, but nah.
Great. We're trapped.
You're not trapped, there's ways out in literally every direction.
Planet Fastoon. Interesting.
Why?
Well, according to the database, it is a Lombax planet.
You'd think Ratchet would already know of a Lombax planet, right? It's not like the war between the Lombaxes and Tachyon has been covered up, it's common knowledge.
Download the coordinates. We'll take the escape pod.
But Ratchet, the database also says...
There's no time. Come on.
Character doesn't listen to another character's warning before recklessly bounding off towards the thing that the other character warned them about, cliche.
Touching down in 5, 4. Oops, 3, 2, 1.
That's kind of funny, but what caused the shuttle to behave like that? There must be some strong gravity. Why do I hate Fastoon? Because enemies, apparently called nanophytes, are constantly jumping out of a respawn point, and that respawn point will usually eat up all of the ammo out of one of your weapons. Fun. These nanophytes are scavenging Fastoon for scraps of Lombax technology, and there's Aphelion just sitting there in a mostly fixable state. So what is she then, chopped liver?
Hold your breath, Clank. Looks like we're going for a dip.
I guess Ratchet's a few quarks short of a hadron? Ooh, that was a pretty smart joke, I hear you saying. Don't. It took me 10 seconds to research quarks on Wikipedia. It sure is handy that there's ammo for all the latest GrumbleNet weapons lying around on a planet that's been abandoned for years. Clank level, except there's no checkpoints.
I am sorry. My memory bank seemed to have been damaged in the crash. The last thing I remember was laying down suppressive fire over the court of Azimuth.
So this great war between Tachyon and the Lombaxes, okay, yes, some of them escaped with the Dimensionator, many of them died, but you can't honestly say that there are only 3 Lombaxes. Ratchet, Angela, and Alistair Azimuth left, right? I'm sure there were a few more traveling to other planets, going out shopping, laying about in Pokitaru. There's no way every single Lombax was there to witness Tachyon devastate their race.
Come on down to Planet Mukau!
5-year-olds shouldn't be naming planets, period. We get it, Star Fox was a thing! See what I did? That gag isn't this shit now. Dangerous children's ride is dangerous. For someone who wants to destroy every last Lombax, Tachyon is somehow completely thrown off by a Lombax masquerading as Markiplier. And Tachyon doesn't question why Captain Chin is handing Markiplier an infobot.
As an official Tachyon trooper, your job will be to ravage every planet until it is found.
A better idea would simply be to find and track Ratchet, who will very likely lead you to the Lombax secret. It seems like a big waste of time and resources.
Some space pirates from Ardolis have offered us bolts for Leviathan souls. Why, if you were to go and fetch some for us, we would happily give you the launch code.
Senor Plot Convenience strikes again, so I can double jump on some magnetic surfaces but not others. Some consistency would be nice, How to make your level difficult 101. Literally just place stupid turrets everywhere.
Put that Lombax in his place.
What?
You don't recognize a Lombax when you see one? They're pretty distinct. How many other furry, big-eared, vertically challenged species do you know? Even the barely functional warbots knew before you.
He is a Lombax! Krunk, Zephyr, lower your weapons!
Did you know the voice actor for Talwyn Apogee, Tara Strong, also played strangely named woman Seth in Lost Odyssey?
It's not enough that we just keep surviving, eh? There's always something.
Welsh is actually not worth sinning, to be honest, but I'm getting My Little Pony flashbacks, so someone needs to take one for the team.
So you're a Lombax who's never seen another Lombax.
I don't understand. Ratchet and Clank 2 is one of the most celebrated games on PS2. Angela was a big part of that game. How hard is it to actually remember that she existed at some stage? Buzzblades! The motion control geolaser allows you to cut through rocks and walls to gain access to new areas, but if you turn motion controls off, you can just spin the left stick like a spastic until you hit all the dots. We interrupt this video game to bring you Pirates of the Caribbean. Captain Slag is most certainly an individual who cares not for relationships beyond the realm of the sexual, who sleeps with many partners not caring about anything save for the moment of climax. Thanks, Urban Dictionary.
Aye, what be that foul smell?
Aye, that oyster chili be disagreeing with me something fierce.
How might a robot eat oyster chili?
There be a yet fouler smell. One I not be smelling for nigh 600 moons.
600 moons? As in 600 nights? As in less than 2 years? Pretty sure the Lombaxes have been gone for a lot longer than that.
Skewer that saucy wench!
That's rape, right?
Arr, me wee cannonballs!
Huh, ball jokes. We're a few fart and poop jokes away from a sci-fi Shrek spin-off. What could have otherwise been an epic battle against a small army of Droffids is mitigated by the fact that you can run back to the vendor at any time to restore your health. Sure is lucky the smuggler is here waiting for us. or plot convenient. I was going to take a sin off for Mr. Zircon, but excuse me? How much do you want for them? You can stick that one up your ass, Grummelnet. Which further brings up the fact that while devices are a cool idea on paper, the fact that they don't upgrade like normal weapons do means you'll be hard-pressed to use them often.
It says, in this room, a secret born, to quell the angry Cragmite storm.
Prophetic rhyming.
You've traveled far, but to be clear, without a tail, your quest ends here.
Without a tail, your tail ends here. That sounds so much cooler. Also, that's alarmingly vague. It makes it sound like anything with a tail can waddle up to this door and smack their glove-covered hand on it. Anyone else get the feeling that Talman looks like a Jak and Daxter reject?
Looky here, it's one of those ancient holovid players.
3,000 years into the future, and apparently there was a period where we regressed back to projectors and reels of film.
The weapon used to vaporize the Cragmites was a hat. Oh, come on. There's no way a Lombax would invent something that ridiculous.
Oh, really? What about your nuclear-powered rocket sled? Your antimatter bathroom buddy? And let us not forget about the electroshock undergarments you invented last fall.
Stunderwear. Huge seller on Umbris.
You mean there's a subplot where Ratchet invents terrible appliances and gadgets and makes a killing off of it? When do we get to play Ratchet and Clank Tools of Comfortable Living? And if Stunderwear were a huge seller, why don't we see any of the bolts Ratchet made from sales? Why can't we use those bolts to buy weapons and shit? I feel like this sin is really petty, but I honestly don't give a hot damn. Give me my fucking money! I think the odds of me becoming a successful YouTuber are greater than the odds of Ratchet and Clank meeting with the smuggler in such plot-convenient circumstances this many times. Ratchet starts gagging before the swamp water has entered his mouth.
The Sony say the facility is in this sector.
When this is over, we should probably have Big Al check you out. You may have fried a sister board.
Clank led you in the right direction, Ratchet, you little shit. Cut him some slack.
Hold down the fire button to charge, then let go to release a galactic can of whoop-ass.
Game thinks it's earned the right to say whoop-ass after years of censoring curse words.
It seems the bolt crank activated the bridge. I do so enjoy technology.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's you two. Almost didn't recognize you in high def.
Honestly, I don't even care that they changed the plumber's voice actor, but to keep the terrible meme that I have wrought upon myself alive, I don't like change!
Say, do you happen to need a 3 3/4 cubic hexagonal washer? I seem to have a spare.
I think I hear Chekhov cocking his gun in the distance.
Here, I found this in Tachyon's underwear drawer.
No need for alarm, fellas. Last I checked, Tachyon doesn't even wear pants.
In this chapter, we will explore the galactic awesomeness that is Iris, the largest supercomputer in Polaris history.
Of course, the Iris supercomputer is shaped like a goddamn eye. Couldn't think of anything more unique? How about a Johnson supercomputer?
Now, there's no way a Lombax could ever sneak by me. I know how they think, mate. I'm a certified Lombax whisperer. Just like that guy on the Holovid program.
Sitting for the dated Caesar Milan reference, and also the fact that you don't need to be a whisperer for something that already speaks fluent English. While the Pyrocitor in Ratchet and Clank works best when you're not strafing, the Pyroblaster seems to work best when you're strafing and concentrating fire on a single enemy. Also, wow, does it annoy me that one of the most powerful weapons in the game is a flamethrower.
If ye be interested, sign up at the meeting hall. Those of you with peg legs need not apply.
That's disableist. My problem with the enemies with shields, stop your groaning, is that it restricts you to using the Shock Ravager among 1 or 2 other weapons. Forcing the player to use a particular type of gun would be fine, but it would work if the game had a larger variety of enemies that required different methods to take out, instead of just shield dudes. It's not a Ratchet and Clank game without some form of terrible disguise that should fool only the excessively nearsighted. Putting on the Holo Pirate disguise right in front of the Pirate Doorkeeper does not alert the Doorkeeper of your Lombaxness. 3,000 years into the future, and twerking is still a blight on humanity.
So, this is the Iris supercomputer. How do you turn this thing on?
It appears to have been damaged by space pirates.
No, it just appears to have no buttons. Clank level. Ratchet has to make use of his entire arsenal of heavy-duty weapons to take on these pirates, but a love slap from Clank also seems to be enough to subdue them.
The Lombaxes constructed a device in order to exile the Cragmites. Percival Tachyon, discovered by Lombax trillium miners eons after the war, frozen in an egg on this very planet, and raised on Fastum.
Yeah, how long do you think you're gonna hide the fact that you banished this crab child's entire race to an alternate dimension? And why would you even raise a Cragmite in the first place? You could have just had some really fucking good eggs, man. Bit of pepper and Barbie sauce and 2 bits of toast and you're set, mate. Wow, did that just happen?
The Zonies say Talman is in trouble. We need to get to Zor Doom.
You know, Clank, just once, I wish you'd listen to your real friends instead of your imaginary ones.
I don't trust you, Clank. Still going to Zordom anyway. Actually, you know what? Let's bring back more memes. We get it! Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing! Don't expect that from me ever again.
Did you get the holographic schematics of Zordon we asked for?
The need for schematics and a plan seem almost unnecessary. The path to Talwyn's cell block is laid out in plain sight. The Negotiator is the best damn name for a rocket launcher, and you're not allowed to argue this fact.
Inmate number 510D, Hardlight, Ace. Please report to the mess hall for kitchen duty.
Nah, no way Ace Hardlight survived. I fucked him up real good.
The grab ramp. What's the point of these things anyway? Hasn't anyone ever heard of stairs?
Quark would be good at gaming sins. The loons that locked up Talwyn let her keep her guns and jetpack. Fighting waves of enemies on a seemingly never-ending elevator ride cliché. Invisible enemies cliché. The competitive Ratchet and Clank community unanimously agree that adding footstalling single-handedly changed the competitive scene. Though whether for better or worse is another story. Did you know remote-controlled helicopters are designed to fall into holes and chasms? Because the Visicopter sure is. Also it controls like ours. Destroying the cannons causes the whole ship to explode.
I heard something.
Ratchet?
So, does Ratchet have, like, directional hearing or something? He's really bad at that. Yeah, okay, fuck the Jacindu boss. Sure, he's cute, and sometimes that's all you need, but the battle opens with a grind rail segment before you fight the boss. And if you die, you have to do that grind rail bit all over again. And again. And again. And again, in my case. Seriously, I hope this boss gets breast cancer or something.
Try to follow us, and I'll gut ye bow to stern.
Oh my god, Ratchet, what are you, Owly? Just shoot, you idiot. Of all the guns they brought back in the reboot, I wish the magnet launcher was one of them. Spacefish.
We wasn't expecting any visitors, Lombax.
I wasn't expecting to see the same boss 4 times, and yet, here we are. Sure, I'm glad that turret doesn't know how to aim up. I actually thought the fight against Slag was pretty good. He was challenging, but relatively fair. The problem with Slag is that he feels like a bit of an afterthought story-wise, as if they inserted him into the narrative to counteract the fact that Tachyon is a bit of a forgettable villain. Waves of enemies appearing partway through a boss fight cliché.
Ever since the rocket sled, you've been nothing but a giant pain in my...
Quark Ex Machina? Or whatever the opposite of that is, I guess?
Quark, put down the Dimensionator.
I shall now emblazon my name in the annals of galactic history by hurling this infernal contraption into a black hole.
Okay, there have been plenty of situations Ratchet could have shot someone in this game and he hasn't, but I think this is the most annoying one. It would save him a lot of headaches in the future, no? Way too many fucking enemies on this level, I swear to God.
Finally, the time has come for the Cragmites to rise again!
Cragmites? Ooh, that sounds like it would be really good on toast. But only if you're Australian and only if you grew up with it.
To rise again!
Oh my god, just grab your gun and, you know what, never mind, I give up. What does Ratchet even get knocked out by here? He just kinda gives up and nods off. Sounds like Clank's getting off and being in such a perilous situation. Freak. Clank level. I cannot wait for a cracking time, to be honest. It's not a Ratchet and Clank game without a level where the two get split up for whatever reason. Though this brief moment where Ratchet and Clank are split up and supernatural beings of great power are warping about the area is one of the rare moments in the series where everything seems kind of hopeless. I think they nailed the tone of this level extremely well.
Ratchet! Are you okay?
No. He's gone. Clank's gone.
You don't know that. You didn't see him die. In fact, you passed out and fell probably the same distance and survived. Seems like a bit of an odd conclusion to arrive at.
My senses indicate a Cragmite armada rapidly approaching Meridian City.
By the rats in Meridian City!
Over a quarter of the city has been decimated by Cragmite dropships. They will not last long without support.
Support that a single Lombax will give, because of course. Ever heard of this thing called groups? Armies? No? I can't believe I haven't mentioned the decryptor yet. Too hard to control with motion controls, too easy without. How do these hacking gadgets get worse with every game? We get it, Ratchet and Clank 2 is a thing. Oh, damn it.
I don't deserve these rock-hard abs, these chiseled features, these impeccable glutes and bulbous buttocks.
That butt's so thick, it's practically a sin. Thick. I think I speak for everyone when I say, fuck this part. Fuck this part in particular. Or maybe just me. No armor run, of course.
The Lombaxes raised you. How could you do this to them?
Before Tachyon proceeds to say, speak up, shit pickle, I'm in a ship.
Cowards! All of them! Only 2 stayed behind. The Keeper of the Dimensionator and his infant son.
So what are Alistair Azimuth and Angela Cross then? Chop liver?
If I leave you with the Dimensionator, no one will be safe. Not the Lombaxes. Not my friends. I'm not going anywhere.
Character chooses friends over family he's never met cliché. Rhino 4's pretty neat, I guess. The battle against Tachyon is good, but the problem comes from the problem of weapon balancing that I think the future series has always had. Weapons do practically no damage and have very little ammo to compensate, and early weapons like the Combustor and Plasma Beasts are useless here. It makes what could have been an enjoyable, intense final boss a bit of a slog.
You can't kill me, Lombax. Only I know your true purpose in this galaxy. Only I know your true name.
Except not 20 minutes ago you said this.
Why do you fight for them, dear boy? Those creatures didn't even have the scruples to give you a name.
It's broken. Looks like something snapped off the primary reflux coil.
I believe it is missing a 3 3/4 centicubic hexagonal washer.
Check of you, bastard. Just kill me now.
Dimensionator, find home!
That's vague. What does the Dimensionator recognize as home? Velden? Kerwan? Ratchet's dimension in general? At times like this, a little more clarification would be helpful. And only now the Zoni are choosing to show themselves? Why? If they made themselves known earlier, the whole argument between Ratchet and Clank could have been avoided.
Yes, time to come with you.
Robotic drug trip. While the story in Tools of Destruction is perhaps unnecessarily convoluted and unsure of itself, I will admit that this is how you do a cliffhanger. This legit left me wanting more as a kid. And then they all slowly suffocated because they forgot to shut the window. Discount Daft Punk. Oh, you didn't think we were done, did you? Please take 5 sins off for the Alpha Disruptor. No, just 1. The movement in this game is slow. The Predator launches a special upgrade that lets 2 rockets target 1 lone enemy. You lose out on being able to lock onto so many targets, and that's what is so special about the gun in the first place. Where's the plumber in this game? Does no one ever have a plumbing problem? Wait, that's the plumber? That's not the plumber. That's the plumber's responsible older brother with a PhD in plot progression. Scene does not contain a lap dance. If your PS3 is too slow to load the Riken 5 level, the enemies will hit you before you start the level, which means that you start the drop with less health. Why is it that in Tools of Destruction, when using a launchpad, he suddenly has so much fun? He didn't have fun in the other games? For fuck's sake.
I'd be careful if I were you. He's got posomorphic blaster cannons on each fingertip.
Ratchet lies about Clank having cannons on each fingertip when they were captured by Tachyon, which makes you consider why Clank doesn't have any sort of weaponry or better way of defending himself in case he gets separated from Ratchet. Hopefully this doesn't sound stupid.
And why should we trust you? You ejected us into space.
The smuggler ejected them to a random planet, not in space! Why the fuck am I sitting here criticizing a game from over a decade ago so intricately? This is going in. You'd better just take off a sim for the Razor Claws. Those things were a-namzing. You're a bitch. How did Ratchet get Grummelnet weapons in the Solana Galaxy? Do you think he acquired them illegally? Ratchet's origin story is pretty much Goku and Superman's origin story. If you fail the Clank laser section, you must redo it in its entirety, I believe, which doesn't make sense since you clearly burnt through a good portion of it. Just straight up 5 sins for the Shard Reaper for being the worst shotgun in the entire series. It has practically no range and doesn't do that much damage even when it's close. Also, its extremely cool name fooled me to think it was good. Sad face. And of course, for all the comments, and there were a lot of them, that mentioned the Tornado Launcher, a 6-axis controlled weapon. Let's chuckle on 15 cents because why?
I found this in Tachyon's underwear drawer.
Do you love shapes? I love shapes, they're great. I particularly like triangles and chevrons. Chevrons are mad as but circles, circles are stupid. They have one continuous physics breaking corner that just makes me want to kill somebody. This circle's alright though. He makes little cartoons and doodles and he has a gaming channel too. He's pretty alright. He'd be better if he were a shape with more corners though, but whatever. Go subscribe to Circle Gaming HD and Circle Toons HD. Great, I only get 20 seconds for outros now. Damn it, YouTube, you're screwing with my formula! First the ad fiasco and now this. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Next game I'm sending is Quest for Booty. If you want your sins in that video, don't forget to use hashtag RatchetSins. Peace out, homeboys.